Okay, good morning, seventh grade. Mr. Long here. I had our scheduled meeting from 9:15 to 9:45. No one was able to make it. Miss Lemma joined in, and we had an awesome discussion about online learning. Now, I did post this morning at 8:30. It said, "Good morning, please join us for our first face-to-face lesson, 9:15 a.m. to 9:45 a.m." I posted a reminder that we would be meeting this morning on March 25th. So I gave you guys almost a week in advance to tell you what we were doing. So today's live lesson, I just want to go over what we were going to do. We had a reading goal. We will identify key details to determine theme, and I was going to go over what theme was. I had a few questions about theme to help guide you while you're reading. And then we're also going to go over a writing goal. We will begin writing our pandemic journals. Um, and I was going to explain what you're going to start doing for your writing project. Now, I will do this every time we meet on Mondays and on Wednesdays. I'll post the link to our meetings. I'll post the goals, questions, and I'll also post a to-do list. So our to-do list today was supposed to be from 9 to 9:15. Even though our class starts at 9, I'm giving you 15 minutes to like get ready, log into Classroom, read my update, get any materials ready. So we're not starting exactly at 9. Gives you extra 15 minutes. Then from 9:15 to 9:45, we were going to have a live lesson. After that, you had 9:45 to 10:25, 40 minutes. 40 minutes to complete at least 25 minutes of reading and your reading log. So this is something that's not new. You guys know that you need to be reading for at least 25 minutes, 25 minutes, and doing your reading log. That's nothing new. We've been doing that all year. And then from 10:25 to 11, which is 35 minutes, you got to work on your writing journal. So, what exactly would that have looked like if we were in the live lesson? Now, if I click to this is something that all of you have. I printed out 3 pages back to back of these historical reading log journals. So if you've been doing your reading every single day, you should have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about probably 7 or 8 journals, reading logs written down. So remember, when you're reading, you're putting in the date. If you're reading the same book every day, just put same, what pages did you read from, and then 2 to 3 sentences about what you read that day. Now, today we were supposed to go over theme, and I was going to read My Brother Sam is Dead out loud to you guys. But just to touch on theme, I've got this little handy dandy anchor chart. So if you remember from our lessons when we were in school, we talked about theme, and theme is the message or lesson that the author wants you to take away from the story. And the questions you could ask yourself is, what did the characters learn, or how did the characters grow? And some common themes were courage, honesty, love, friendship, forgiveness, loyalty, hope, equality, hard work, teamwork. And I gave you a whole other list of a bunch of different types of themes. And we already talked about some of the themes that we could actually discuss in the book that we were reading, My Brother Sam is Dead. And some of you even identified some themes going on in the books that you were reading. But if I click this page, we already discussed one theme in My Brother Sam is Dead, which was about war. We learned that war separates families. This is like how Tim's family is fighting. And there are some other common themes involved in My Brother Sam is Dead also. I know lying was a big thing, right? Because if we recall, Tim, the main character, had trouble lying to his father about his brother Sam being home. Tim didn't want to lie because lying was a sin, but he also wanted to see his brother. And I'm thinking to myself, what lesson is the author trying to teach me? Is it okay to lie sometimes? Well, we're told we shouldn't lie, but is it okay to lie sometimes? And I'm thinking to myself, well, why is Tim lying? Well, he's lying because he loves his brother. So Tim lies to his father because he loves his brother and he doesn't want his brother to run away anymore. So maybe it is okay to lie if it is for a good reason such as love. I don't know. Maybe that's a lesson that the author's trying to teach us, or at least that's what I'm getting from it. I'm not in the habit of lying, but if Tim is lying to his father to protect someone else, I mean, I can even think back to other historical novels where, say, during the slavery times, a lot of people lied to the police and the government and saying, "Are you holding escaped slaves in here?" And people were going, "Nope, no slaves in here." So, Brian, you'll get that because you're reading Harriet Tubman. Or during the Holocaust, when they're like, "Are there any Jews hiding in this house?" And they would say to the Nazis, "No, no, no Jews here. You can search." So in certain cases, it was okay to lie if you were trying to protect other people. And I'm finding that very similar theme in this book, My Brother Sam is Dead, where Sam, oh, I'm sorry, Tim is lying to his father to protect his older brother. So that was our little touch on theme. And I'll touch more about this on Wednesday because no one was at the live session. But the message or lesson that the author wants you to take away from the story. And there's usually more than one lesson in a longer book. If you're reading your picture books, oftentimes there's maybe only one or two lessons. There's only one central theme because it's a shorter book. But as you can see, we'll be talking about a lot of different themes as we read through My Brother Sam is Dead. And so I'd like to definitely touch on this again on Wednesday. So let me show you what we're going to do for writing. So for writing, our goal was to begin writing our pandemic journal. And one of the questions was, what is a pandemic? Well, glad you guys asked. So I'm just going to X out of that, X out of this thing, and go boom, right here to an article I was reading. So I want you to focus on this. Just the first three paragraphs I'm going to read out loud to you and explain what a pandemic is. Because this is what we're doing. This is right now, we're living through a pandemic, right? So a pandemic is the global outbreak of a disease. There are many examples in history, the most recent being the COVID-19 pandemic, also known as the coronavirus, declared as such by the World Health Organization on March 12, 2020. Keep in mind, March 12th being our last day in school. Pandemics are generally classified as epidemics first, which is the rapid spread of a disease across a particular region or regions. The Zika virus outbreak that began in Brazil in 2014 and made its way across the Caribbean and Latin America was an epidemic, as with the Ebola outbreak in West Africa in 2014 to 2016. The US has been experiencing an opioid epidemic since 2017 because of the widespread misuse and high number of deaths caused by the drug, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. COVID-19 began as an epidemic in China before making its way around the world in a matter of months and becoming a pandemic. But epidemics don't always become pandemics, and it's not always this fast or clear transition. For example, HIV was considered an epidemic in West Africa for decades before becoming a pandemic in the late 20th century. So, these words are very difficult to understand at times. Epidemic, pandemic, and endemic, right? So I have a visual to help you out and explain this, right? So we're living in a pandemic, right? So pandemic means that there's people being affected in the United States, in North America, Central America, South America, people in Europe, people in Asia. Oh, that's Africa, Europe. So a pandemic is it's happening all around the world in several different areas. An epidemic means it's happening in one part of the world and it's happening a lot. An endemic is like, oh, someone over here is getting messed up. Someone over here, someone here, but it's a very small cases. Like it's all individual different causes, right? So what we're living in is a worldwide issue. It's a worldwide crisis. There's a problem. That's COVID-19, the coronavirus. So we are going to write pandemic journals because we are living through an historical event. People are going to be talking about this for years to come. And there are going to be movies, journals, people writing about this time period. So we've started this unit with historical fiction, and we are living through history right now. This has never happened in my lifetime, um, and in many teachers' lifetimes. So keep that in mind. Okay, so that being said, I posted a new assignment called Pandemic Journals. If you click into it, each of you have your own copy of a pandemic journal, and the instructions are pretty simple. This assignment will be an ongoing project for your expository writing. For all future journal prompts, you should write your response on your Google Slide journal. You can always look at mine as an example. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to click into mine, and I'm greeted with a very simple thing. So every one of you has the same front page. So first thing you need to do is change that. Put your name. I would put your first name. I'm going to put my last name because that's my title, Mr. Long's Pandemic Journal. Each of you have the same second page. Directions. Use this digital journal to record your thoughts, ideas, and stories during your time away from school. Remember to date each entry. Have fun. You can insert videos, pictures, or links. Next week, we will insert videos, pictures, and links. This week, I just want you guys writing. All right, just get used to the online journaling, okay? So your page 3 is actually from last week, right? It says, write about your weekend now that you have all been in quarantine for over a week. How is your life different? How is it the same? What did you do this past weekend? How is your family? So that was a journal prompt that I assigned on March 23rd. And some of you were able to complete that. And if you didn't complete that, you were instructed to do so. So if you actually got that assignment done, then you can go on to Google Classroom, scroll down to March 23rd. Bum, 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 bum. Where is it? March 23rd. Journal prompt. Boom. You can go into your work. I know I wrote mine, right? And I'm just going to copy and paste it. Control C, Control V. Boom! Dunion rings. Look how easy that was. So I have that done. Now, on page 4, I also had posted a previous question, which was a writing prompt, 10 things I am grateful for. And then most of you guys did the same thing. So if you were already did the assignment for that one, I'd go back into the Google Classroom stream, click on the thing, and then I see some of you can just copy and paste from your original post. After that's done, you have an assignment